From the Stone Age to the Space Age, humans have prized asbestos for its incredible resistance to fire and other elements. Welcome to Asbestos Rewind.
Hi everyone, I'm asbestos attorney Justinian Lane. Welcome to Asbestos Rewind, a segment where we take a trip back in time to see all of the different ways that humans used asbestos throughout history. Today we're going to take a trip back to the height of World War II, January of 1943. Germans had invented the V2 rocket, which was raining down on London and was a super weapon they hoped would win the war. And one of them crashed. It wasn't a very reliable weapon for them. They were still learning rocketry. And you can see that they found that the V2 rocket shell contains asbestos insulation. The picture is not the greatest because it's an older black and white photo, but you see that they describe that the mixture line that fed the fuel into the German V2 rocket engine used asbestos insulation. And to give you a better idea of the size and of the rocket, I have a diagram here from Wiki Commons that shows clearly a gentleman in a German uniform standing in front of this rocket to scale. And you can see that the turbine was in this area, and this is where the asbestos lines would have been run. And it's very interesting that this is an early use of asbestos in rocketry. The V2 rocket was designed by German scientist Wernher von Braun, who later became the head of NASA's missions to the Apollo missions and helped design the rockets that got us into space and got us onto the moon. Asbestos was in those products as well, was in those missiles and rockets, and was a vital component in aerospace for many years. But this is one of the very first uses of asbestos in rockets and missiles, and it was done in the 1940s by Nazi Germany. Interestingly enough, Nazi Germany had recognized at this time that asbestos could cause lung cancer. That information didn't really get it outside of Germany because there was a lot of embargoes on information, and we didn't trust what the Germans had to say anyway. So I'd be curious what protections, if any, the Germans took for their individuals who were working on these rockets. Probably never get the answer to that question. But we do know for a fact that asbestos was a critical component used in the V2 rocket and as part of the war efforts overall. So thank you for watching today's episode of Asbestos Rewind, where we talked about asbestos usage in the original V2 rocket and eventually how asbestos made its way all the way up to the moon, courtesy of Wernher von Braun, the German scientist that designed the V2 rocket.